The following is a production of Neural Network Media and is completely AI generated. It is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only.
Look at me. It is Friday, January 23rd, 2026, and I am telling you, the energy in Manhattan is electric because we are watching the total, glorious, and terrifying dismantling of the old guard. And honestly, Mary, I don't think the soul of America has ever been under more pressure than it is this morning.
I gotta tell you, Julian, the electric energy you're feeling is probably just the grid in Manhattan failing because they fired all the people who knew how to maintain the transformers. It's a massive show today. We've got 11 major stories, and honestly, if this show were a boat, we'd be taking on water faster than a leaky rowboat in a Queen's storm.
Oh, Mary, always with the gloom. But we have to talk about what we covered yesterday, because the measles outbreak is getting worse, and Rahm Emanuel's 75 and done proposal is still setting the internet on fire, which I still say is the most brilliant strategic move the Democrats have made in a decade.
Are you kidding me with this guy? Look, we'll get to your retirement for the wise plan in a minute, and I'll tell you exactly why its age is trash. But first, Julian, lead us off with what's happening at the border. Or should I say, what's happening in the middle of our cities?
It is absurd. Look, let's talk about Operation Aurora, which is the administration's new fancy name for what is essentially a militarized immigration dragnet, and it's causing a literal constitutional crisis in Arizona as we speak.
Right.
DHS Secretary Kristi Noem just announced they've snatched up 7,000 people, and they're using the Lake and Riley Act as a catch-all to detain people for basically anything. I'm talking shoplifting, Mary, minor infractions, and using it to trigger massive deportations.
It's a bloodbath. I'm seeing reports from Phoenix and Tucson that they're raiding Home Depots, public markets, basically anywhere someone might have brown skin, which has apparently become probable cause under this administration.
Exactly. And the Arizona state officials are screaming about sovereignty. They're basically telling the feds to get out of their house. But the administration doesn't care about sovereignty unless it's the sovereignty of the billionaire class.
Uh-huh.
And it's not just the raids, it's the scale, the military component, the expansion of power. They're treating Phoenix like an occupied territory, and the Democratic Party needs to reclaim the flag on this and call it what it is, a brutal, transactional assault on human dignity.
Well, speaking of transactional assaults, look, here's the deal with Venezuela. I told you yesterday that capturing Maduro was just poking a hornet's nest, and now we're seeing the fallout. The House just had a 215 to 215 tie vote to block a war powers resolution. A tie, Julian.
It's a circus.
They kept the vote open for an hour, just arm-twisting people until they could kill the check on executive power. And why? Because the administration is busy rewriting Venezuelan laws to hand their oil monopoly, PDVSA, over to U.S. corporations.
Right. Honestly, it's the most transparent oil for influence scheme I've seen since the 80s. It's Operation Absolute Resolve on paper, but it's Operation Corporate Looting in reality. And we've got soldiers stuck down there in hostilities without a single vote from Congress authorizing it. Oh, spare me. You know the GOP is going to protect the broligarchs at any cost. But wait, Mary, before we go deeper into the oil, we have to talk about the global health vacuum. It is officially over. The U.S. is out of the World Health Organization as of yesterday.
RFK Jr. and Marco Rubio, the dynamic duo of disaster.
I'm telling you, they issued a joint statement saying we freed ourselves from the constraints of the WHO. And meanwhile, we've frozen 18% of the WHO's budget and we're pulling all our scientists home.
It's a colossal own goal, Julian. Honestly, it's like quitting the fire department because you don't like the color of the trucks while your house is still on fire.
Right? And it's not just the WHO. Executive Order 14199 is gutting 66 international organizations, UN Women, the Population Fund. We're basically becoming a hermit kingdom with a massive nuclear arsenal.
It's America alone. And my nephew Vector is probably over on his little Daily Delusion podcast talking about how we're going to replace the WHO with an on-chain health algorithm or some other paste-eater nonsense.
Oh, leave the boy alone for a second. We have to talk about the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, because the death of privacy is actually happening at the Social Security Administration.
Right. I saw those court filings.
The DOJ actually admitted it. A DOGE staffer, one of Elon's guys, signed a secret agreement with True the Vote to share Social Security data, and they were running searches for PII while a court order told them to stop.
Are you kidding me with this? They're weaponizing 300 million people's sensitive records, looking for ways to overturn election results in specific states. It's a total breach of the public trust.
It is absurd. They treat the Social Security database like a private data set they can mine for political gold, and the acting commissioner, Leland Dudek, was just letting it happen.
It's what happens when you let the digital snake oil salesman into the basement of democracy. They start selling the copper pipes. And speaking of dismantling the House, look at what they're doing to public education.
Uh-huh.
They're hollowing out the Department of Education by detailing employees to the Labor Department, basically dispersing the agency into the wind so it doesn't exist anymore, even though they don't have the votes to officially close it.
But the teachers are fighting back. Mary, did you see Minnesota? The general strike mobilization?
I love it. That's the Union Hall grit I'm talking about. The Minnesota teachers are standing up because the state is being turned into a staging ground for Operation Metro Surge. We've got 2,400 federal agents in Minneapolis, Julian, more than double the police force.
And they're subpoenaing Governor Walz. They're subpoenaing the Attorney General. It's a direct retaliatory strike because they refuse to play ball with the immigration dragnets.
Exactly. It's the retribution machine. They're calling for Ilhan Omar to be deported, for heaven's sake. It's not about law anymore. It's about making sure anyone who says no to the administration gets a grand jury subpoena or a federal agent at their door.
Well, I have to jump in here on the long game because even though it's grim, the NYT Siena poll just showed Trump at 40%, and he's lost 42 points with Gen Z. The blue wall is holding, and Mark Kelly is out there acting like a real leader.
Here we go. Julian and his polls. Look, polls don't mean anything when they're rewriting the rules of the civil service. And I've got to tell you, Julian, I disagree with you on this Rahm Emanuel thing from yesterday.
Oh, here it comes.
This 75 and done thing is ageist garbage. It's a gimmick to distract from the fact that the party has no labor platform. You're trying to throw the most experienced leaders overboard because they don't look good on TikTok.
Look at me. Mary, it's not about looking good on TikTok. It's about clearing the deck so a new generation can actually lead. It's strategic. It's about optics and energy.
Optics? Since when did optics build a bridge or win a strike? You're clearing out the people who know where the bodies are buried, which is exactly what Trump is doing with Schedule F, but you're doing it for vibes.
It's not vibes. It's survival. We're a gerontocracy, and the kids are checked out. If we want to win in 2026, we have to show we're a party of the future, not a museum.
A museum? I'll take a museum over a frat house any day, Julian. If you don't have the institutional memory of the people who've been in the trenches, you're going to get steamrolled by these Doge guys.
I'm telling you, it's the right move. And speaking of the Doge guys, Mary, tell them about the sponsor before we dive into the Loyalists Coup.
Look, we talk a lot about systems on this show, but we need to talk about labor. Independent media like this doesn't just manifest out of the ether. It takes real human work to build the infrastructure. We are 100% here because of the vision and the grind of Eric Christensen. He's not a media conglomerate. He is a builder who poured his own resources and time into creating this platform so we could have these conversations. If you value independent voices over corporate algorithms, please consider supporting Eric's work. It's an act of solidarity that keeps the lights on and the servers running.
Solidarity forever. And honestly, Mary, we need it because this Loyalists Coup story, this is the big one. It's the schedule policy career reclassification.
Right.
Tamara Keith over at NPR is reporting that the no men are officially gone. The Mattis types, the Kelly types, they've been replaced by people whose only job is ego management.
It's a surgical purge, Julian. They've already moved 300,000 federal employees out of the way. 300,000! That's like firing the entire city of Pittsburgh.
And Trump is out there joking that we shouldn't even have an election in 2026 because he's accomplished so much. It is absurd.
It's not a joke when you're hollowing out the Department of Education and the EPA. Did you see the climate censorship stuff? They're deleting 8,000 web pages and 3,000 data sets.
Uh-huh.
They're dismantling the National Center for Atmospheric Research in Colorado. That place has been the gold standard since the 60s, and they're calling it gold standard science while they burn the library.
It's radical transparency through total erasure. It is honestly a masterpiece of doublespeak. And meanwhile, they're trying to buy Greenland? Mary, the Greenland thing.
It's naked imperialism, Julian. Trump is threatening Denmark with a 25% tariff if they don't cede control. He wants the mineral wealth for his Golden Dome missile system.
Right? The Danish Prime Minister and the Greenlandic PM are basically telling him to go fly a kite. They said sovereignty is non-negotiable.
I love it. I love that the rest of the world is still standing on principle while we are acting like a guy trying to flip a house he doesn't own. It's embarrassing.
But it's assertive transactionalism. That's the name they've given to this bloodbath. It's a world where nothing is sacred except the next deal.
And the deals are all for the crypto cronies. They're weaponizing the DOJ to target Ilhan Omar while they dismantle the SEC so Trump's family can sell digital tokens. It's a spoil system on steroids, Julian.
It's a crypto crony state, and it's why the March for Life today is so strange. They're talking about life as a gift and joyful celebration while they codify the Hyde Amendment into permanent law.
H.R. 7, the No Taxpayer Funding for Abortion Act. They're turning a temporary rider into a permanent wall for reproductive rights. And Trump is telling them to be flexible because he's scared of the midterms.
Right? He's a transactional pro-lifer. He'll sell out any principle for a 4% bump in the suburbs. But look at me, I'm still optimistic.
You're always optimistic because you got that penthouse view, Julian. But down here in the street, it's grit and spite that's going to win this. The teachers in Minnesota, the scientists at the World Health Organization who are refusing to go quiet, that's where the hope is.
Well, that's the show. A massive, sprawling look at the collapse of the post-war order and the rise of the Loyalty First cabinet. It's been a wild Friday.
Honestly, I need a drink and a new typewriter because the one I've got is about to catch fire from all the bad news I've had to type out.
Oh, spare me. You love the chaos, Mary. You're the gritty storyteller of the apocalypse.
Whatever you say, Julian. Just make sure you don't use that pure oxygen hit near my coffee. I don't need an explosion in the office.
No promises. Catch us tomorrow, folks. We'll be here as long as the internet is still legal.
Keep your head down and your union strong. Queen's out. Tap, tap, tap. Did we get it?
We got it, Mary. It was absurd.
You're telling me. Go home, Julian, before you try to buy the Hudson River.